Known as the heart of modern China, Shanghai is the nation's largest city with a population of 3.6 million and is also the center of Chinese commerce, industry, finance, and trade. Shanghai had been the center of foreign settlements established by the Western powers for their interests in China. Those settlements were used as the only safety zones in the country, which was in the middle of a civil war. With that as a background, the Chiang Kai-shek Nanking government had used Shanghai as the source of funding to unify the country. However, the government was manipulated by the Western powers, which were alarmed by Japan's economic penetration. Hence, the Nanking government had adopted anti-Japan policies. It breached treaties and agreements signed with Japan and fueled naive citizens' anti-Japan sentiment and mobilized anti-Japan organizations in an attempt to damage the business activities and lives of Japanese residents. This situation led to the outbreak of the North China Incident. The Nanking government started a series of infringements in North China, resulting in the Japanese army to take security and self-defense measures to prevent further expansion of such events. On his way to the international settlement, First Lieutenant Isao Oyama, head of the Japanese Special Naval Landing Forces, was shot to death when his car was suddenly surrounded by members of the Chinese Peace Prevention Corps, who fired several dozen bullets at Oyama. The spot where he was shot was in the demilitarized zone established under the Shanghai ceasefire agreement. This incident was a well-planned act of provocation against uniformed members of the Imperial Japanese Navy. In all areas of Shanghai, Japanese residents, Chinese people, and other foreigners started to evacuate the danger zones immediately after the news spread. In the meantime, the Japanese military was mobilized as an emergency measure to protect Japanese residents and the nation's interests, but with only a small number of soldiers. Their intent was to seek ways for a negotiated settlement. The Japanese military tightened security against Chinese soldiers dozens of times bigger in size. The Chinese military showered machine gun fire against the Japanese military at 10 a.m. on August 13th. Finally, we had no choice but to fire back to defend ourselves. A little past 9 a.m. the following day, Chinese bombers suddenly flew over the headquarters of the Special Navy Landing Forces and launched an airstrike. Then the Chinese started a formation bombing on the Japanese consulate, military ships, and many of our bases. We fired back as well and drove them off. However, all of Shanghai City was thrown into turmoil as the Chinese military planes launched airstrikes even over the city's demilitarized zones. The Chinese military planes also launched a bombing campaign over the entertainment districts in the city, filled with several thousands of Chinese and foreign civilians. It was reportedly said that 940 people were killed and 1,400 others were injured because of this catastrophic bombing.